Thank you, David. This is called Evening Antiphon. I see the world as metaphor for me. I see the metaphor as way of life. Dreamt farmland in the meadow float above the grit of cities sprawl, and this the doublet of the present and the past, amidst the manifold existences in which I pass my lifelike days, demanding what is meant by every image happenstance presents, the fall of man, the toll of age, the purity of babies in their state, as sweetest form of humankind, as metaphor for hope and helpless need, the fickle world, inconstant all, and I, erratic fixity of fateful win and lose, trace out a route meandering, bemused, a crying out in ocean, asking why, vain questions getting in the way of our true meaning, which may be, and therein finding moral law, such as it is, perhaps not hurting living things. We are, or at least we seeking create gods and do love meaning. A quote from Elena Ferrante. Children don't know the meaning of yesterday, of the day before yesterday, or even of tomorrow. Everything is this, now. The street is this, the doorway is this, the stairs are this is mama, this is papa, this is the day, this is the night. This is called Rules of the Air. Fixed in my memory, but blended together, a mixture of illnesses, boxed in a room filled with light that I read in like fire, and how to get out. By the window, of course, it can fly. I hold on to the frame that should lift me to wings and away, but the fever has changed it. The window goes out, but not up, and it swings like a wing. I'm out over the street, and I know I'm in danger, and no one will come. They do not understand, do not know why I'm angry, and neither do I. Why so hard to tell the words? Why so hard to fly along the sidewalk? But dreams are not eternity, and seasons overcome each past one in its turn. Spring airs out the house, and lolling on my bed, I fly the breeze and clouds, freed from winter in that snow of wilderness, the prey of low dark beasts, and stumbling through the winding sheets about my feet. The sheets! I was awake from the daydreams and fancies to the make-believe of life. A child lives in a make-believe that's beaten and soothed into form by adults and often cannot grasp the reason for the tragedy of human life, that most of them are not the way they claim, are dimmed by lies and pain, cannot live love, although they say it all the time, and will not clear the fog away. But I belong to this family, should be happy I'm me. It should be that. And what we know is all the burdens we have borne unseen until the day we see. And then the world will tell us that the broken dreams and dreams come true were all creations of the fads and fancies of the fools who had our ear. The story goes until the anticlimax, horror, roseblood, or the comic end, when all the threads come loose into normality or together in a well-earned violence. And maybe only you will know, or maybe only you will not. This is called reprise or reprise. Sometimes it happens like this, some act of kindness, maybe not tender, maybe too real, some evidence of modesty, untimely, sweet, unworthy of a star, some clarity of spirit, some touch of grace, some light, an arrow of light, foreign to my solitary, growling, brooding ways, yet made familiar by the beauty in a face. And I feel the glow, I feel a pull as if a thirst. I see your soul, I see your soul. Might call it righteousness, desire, or admiration, or something rare and better than I thought could be. Hardened, foolish, pessimistic me, not less naive nor muddled than any Pollyanna child. And in this I'd wish to always read the lines reserve has drawn upon your face, would not fight back the welling up of longing, the wish to feel human, wishing to feel as if a song were possible and could help this life, this time, could maybe serve as magic potion, bringing joy and lightness to my world and me, transform perhaps into a garden, all the cold and void. But I'm forever in the dark, though never without guile, and I will still attempt belief, perhaps believe, through hunger and through want, through failure and through famine, if I'm strong, if I belong among the brave, the can-do guys, a resolute theatrical warrior for rescission of reality, relief from guile, relief of guile. And time and times goes on, wishing away the old meanings and the bold desires of youth, leaving dregs and ashes, leaving barren thoughts of duty, even as ever more proof accumulates and futile duties prove us fools, affirm the right of takers to take and of losers to lose. But this is not the flood tide that I seek of meaning, boiled into a world of plaster run by fools. We give the keys to lock the minds. The mandatory energy, too. There is no story, only dreams to tell, and all the fictions dream of times that now are gone or never were. The streams of ocean cross and stray, their destinations far and gone. There is no vessel but my eyes that do not guide me, cannot judge. For on the journey he is guide, and he myself decides the course that winds through meanings unaware. Oh, might come now at this moment, standing lonely, hardly worthy, for the brooding adverse silence looms in black with flowers white and yellow trim. Deep within the inflorescence lies a secret, hidden like a childhood trauma. Venus flytrap in the ocean, deliver freely deeper nectar, deeper venom, odorless and yet forbidding secrets promised long ago, peak and chafe in veiled estate. What's the plot line? Where's the moral? Are there then tableaus or images or reasons? Russian dolls of strange existence are the common rules of discourse when the macrocosm yammers. O all, O God, O imp of credence, give me just your smaller secrets, for the great are but a pall, and cloud me walking down the hall. The mysteries seem useless now when the manifest remains obscure. What did they mean? What did they mean? Scratch that on my graveyard barrow where my ancestry's inhumed, where all await the overmorrow. Matthew 5:6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Nicene Council. It is risen, the abrogation of the word come from a prophet and honored down its time. The seeds were planted in the early days when strife and hatred were enthroned as righteous duties of the message of love, as tools to help the fiery parasites climb. A monster is risen to repeal the word of law, come from those who honored it in its time. Winged monkeys rush to do its work, to spread its filth and wear the mark, the demon sign. And it, with all the might that it enjoys, the power to crush the world, will take what's mine. It is risen, it abrogates the olden word, come from some prophet dishonored in this time. The seeds were planted in the early days when strife and hatred were enthroned. The Silurian hypothesis hypothesizes that there was a high civilization or high civilizations before the one we are enjoying now. Uh, I have a quote from Marguerite Duras. Suddenly, all at once, she knows that he doesn't understand her, that he never will, that he lacks the power to understand such perverseness, and that he can never move fast enough to catch her. Silurian hypothesis. We shall build this world, this tower high, and reach infallibility. Those who deserve shall earn, said the directors, and we shall reach infinity, divine existence. Who could object? Who could deter the shrewd discernment of the true fate of the great, the in the know? Who would defend all the lower left out clans. With God and right and justice on our side, said some, we'll speak of justice, open doors for all pariahs, all the weak. The moral fiber of the folk was thus judged strong, judged irresistible, and it would triumph in the end, tear down the slave-built tower for the good of all, give brilliance to the dull, the louts would then become refined. But others said, they call us oafs, they find us drab and laughable. We think the tower's fine, let's make them cry, cry out. These were the ones who longed for a random king, a justified and craving champion of causing pain. They loved a crown in love with causing pain and just revenge. They were numerous and strong, and held within their hearts a jocular love of spite. And spite, that imp of camouflage, adored their peak. The while the others prayed and sermonized and wished the tower fall to virtue good and true, the others tore the world apart and left the tower stand. They laughed in poverty, a pointed laugh that came from love of demolition, of demolishing the smug. From Camille Paglia, we carry the demons within us forever. This is called Target. So I don't toe the party line. A couple clicks past the sell-by date have made the nouveau bigot's silly list and see lines and links that you don't. The password's still a mystery to me and others of my line. The gamut is like a prison cell and guards with clubs and lines of chat and meaningless fake macho guiles. But what's it like for you? I see no shadows on your face. The patents lined up in your eyes must bring in fortunes every day. Heavy hitters aimed for Class B ball, beguile and trip with baptismal wit. I see no absinthe, know my worth. I have my idols on my shelf, Nefertiti, Buddha, Hopalong Cassidy, Ganesh, Hummel, and me. And we all await the Jubilee. But free from debt, oh, free from debt, they owe me that no one owe. Every little weakness, every little stress is now relaxed, the wires ready, languid, loose. The hunger and fatigue will now not lay me down, to the pavements pull the feared repose, and I'll step and move to the lilt of the air. Still no need for speed amongst the bound and smug, whose fires banked and the ashes dry. A spell they cast is a lullaby for muggers on the make, just the same old winners who ate the world and who are now backed up all the way down. But I feel no need to explain the butterfly paths to the chargers ahead and the judges of worth, for the air grows thick when they lock the gates, but they're never the ones who control the fear. That's in the hands of Jiminy Cricket, Krishna, and Nemesis, dragons, hyenas, and wolves. And your gods and your bylaws should be straightened out too. Rosebud. We Westerners are favored of the gods or of the spinning joker wheel. And does the favor justify the will to suffer for a hungry lack? The rose we seek is not the same for all the mortals. I've held mine briefly, always lost its burning hook, its glow. A stupid word inherited from fools, a far more pressing need, a silly trick, a laziness, bad choice, or luck caused it to fade. And here with food and shelter, warmth, I feel myself in want. I do not fear to play the fool, for my search and my desire are not the things to cause me shame. That's only fear or rage. The search goes on for all of us who haven't found our perfect rose. Follow the moon. The genius of music is for the young to create and to love, but I will still love and I will sing a song of gallant last love. Though the snow has become rare with the warming of time, I will remember and honor the whiteness of snow that I love. They may say even though, but we need no apologies thirst, for though we are no longer foolish, we will live for the wildness of love. There is in wild love a feeling like terror or rage, and it too has its might. Neither terror nor rage, but as strong, it is still what the blessed call love. The snow on the ground shines its hues through this season we own, in memory of flowers and green. Listen now to the year's end still singing of love. The duty of dim silence is levied by the usual fools, pathetic thieves of time. Instead, let us sing then aloud with harmony's blessing, given always and ever to love. As youth and old age are only illusions in an adequate mind, we will surely abide, and we will remain the same people, our own only ideals fulfilling our love. The old words still betoken the truth. We will get higher and always will bawl. We will be grand as we ever have been. We will guard our forever with love. That was a ghazal. Okay. Okay. Where my ancestors are buried in a cemetery called Old Tombstone, there is an old tombstone with an engraving. Once loved, once valued, now avails me not, though my relations have not me forgot. This is called Long Misreading, Long Dissension. Farm born and hailed as a crowning of love, I was greeted an exploit with pride, as a scion and rival, born not to fight back, but to shine. Set up to lose the hidden fight, a child develops blindered schemes and ulcerated dreams, believes the truths he knows are lies, is loyal to a cardboard silhouette. Scenarios of happy childhood flood the propaganda waves of stilted civic rationale, while on each level of the world, reality is blind and narrowed down. We teach our children to believe and sometimes try to show them how to think. But if we do not know ourselves, tradition from long peasant or patrician past will out. Easy murder, automatic obedience, rebellion from oppression, disdain, fill the coffers of ghouls, for the two revolutions made Mammon the god and crushed the third. This was the world of anger and class, of tawdry and cool, of crude and refined that I saw. And so, what to choose, the working class hero or the Kennedy brightness they killed? Remember, remember 22nd November, for this killed America, led straight to the war I refused, and it made me believe in a code they'd call criminal. See the forgery passing for life. Cognitive dissonance, blinded but willfully blind, smothered ambition and led to belief in the fool. On the hill of false reason, I mirrored the world in a funhouse reflection of tears. There is no redemption, there is no reprieve, for the fate of the human is always the same. We are here as a sentence, there is no parole, and the end is a joke. However we feel it, our voices are lost, for the stars laugh without us and are cruelly inert. Although they mean us no ill, the result is the same. They don't care. I now have belief in the creed I have made, for all meaning is personal, homemade, and small. We all do our best to correct the great fault, for we've made a wrong world. We want something stopped. To be more than I was and less of a fool is the meaning I've made for myself in my dreams. It's the least I can do for the poor little boy who so angrily failed at the world. We err when hiding from the range of what there is in all that's thought and carried out. The worm, the snake, the goat, the fool, the mule, the lion, all of them have weight. And now once more the world we see is caught in peril, caught between boot and poison fang. The brute and the snake now vie for control of misery and fear. My task is to bring into being desire long grown for fantastical viewpoints I've pondered from youth. I will not follow bullies, though some cheap acclaim is proffered in exchange for being a little cop. And I'll end with Morning Song. One rambles down the hallway, leaving sleep behind. My footsteps now seem graceful, broken bone now healed. Hands and back feel pleasant, and soft wood floor is kind. I step into the sunlit kitchen. Sleep is sweetly now behind, but still a solid fact. A cup of tea to come is cheerful in my mind. The pleasures of the day aroused are butterflies revealed, and then I sip into the morning, sleep left well behind. My morning thoughts seem graceful now. Once broken bone is healed. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Bill. Wow, what a tour de force of your wisdom and poetics. Uh, all meaning is personal, homemade, and small. Isn't that incredible? It's true. All meaning is personal. It's not absolute. It's not given to us. What's meaningful is meaningful to us. It's not in the thing, it's in us. And I love this. Children don't know the meaning of yesterday or the day before. Everything is this, you know. I love that. And then you have this thing that you do where things are passing for life or they're lifelike, but they're not actually living, like really living. Uh, I like that thing that you do. And then things like blinded, but willfully blind. Uh, Amazing what you do with meaning and power and wisdom. So anyway, open up your mics, everybody, and let's have a clap and a comments for Bill. It's amazing.
Thank you, David.
Bill.
Very excellent job.
Brilliant. Just brilliant.
I always get a lot out of hearing you read, Bill, and it's great to have that extended set.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just I'm amazed by your scope. It's very intimate and very global at the same time. Um, you just seem to cover it all. Thank you. I really enjoyed your set.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, I always feel that we're looking up to you, Bill, the the giant, the intellectual giant in the room, and so much so that my neck's getting stiff training to.
Look at
I
you.
wish my high school English teacher was still alive.
I always think that you give a lot of insight. Just you're constantly interrogating the false manifestation of truth and the ways in which people take truth and twist it for their own purposes. And then and then the rest of humanity lives it as if it's reality, whether it's the church or whether it's political or whether it's cultural. But you always have that questioning, interrogating, and your poetry does that a lot. And you always sound Shakespearean to me. I don't know why, but it's the way that it flows, you know. It's very engaging.
I'm not one that would seek to tear down Shakespeare.
No, no, no. You don't tear down Shakespeare. You sound like Shakespeare, the rhythm. I
No,
think.
no, I know, I understood, but there
Oh,
are people who try to tear down Shakespeare. I think it's
oh
out of
no.
jealousy.
Yeah, right.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
no. He's a genius. No.
Yeah, that's a whole other subject. The stupid notion that other people wrote Shakespeare stuff. Oh, a human being can't be that brilliant, you know. It must have been so and so or this group of people. Oh, Jesus, you know, the guy was the best, and that's that's it. Uh, wow. Okay. Anyone else want to talk about Bill's set and how it affected you?
Amazing, gorgeous, really, really lovely to hear your set, Bill.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura.
And I'm just grateful I got a chance. I wanted to make sure I caught your feature, but I'm so grateful I did. And thank you for putting bullies in the place where they need to be.
Yeah,
Thank you,
exactly.
Butch. I like your stuff too.
Nice. Okay. Well, let's go on because we
David,
have a lot.
David,
Yeah, I will stop
stop
the
the
recording.
recording.
Oh yeah, of course. I just wanted you to get all the comments in. So one sec.